Welcome to Whippoorwill Holler. I'm Miss Lori and this is Mr. Brown. We live in the hills of Arkansas. We love the Lord. Keepers of the old way, but accept some of the new. We love to cook and we love to eat. We love to garden. It's in our blood. It's how we stay sustainable and fill our pantry. We do a lot of canning and preserving. We live a sustainable life. We love our family. We work hard. And every once in a while, we like to dance. So y'all join us. Welcome back to my kitchen, everybody. Well, we canned some baked beans and we canned some butter. And I've got a lot of canning to do. Today we're going to be canning some chicken. Chicken with the stock, with the chicken stock with it. One of my favorite ways to can chicken, and I've done it both ways. I've done it raw pack, and I've also done it hot pack. And what I mean by that is my chicken is already cooked, and I use hot broth and hot jars. Raw pack is right the opposite. You put it in room temperature jars, room temperature water in your pressure canner, and your raw chicken at not cold, but not, you have to keep it at a certain degree though, your raw chicken. And I have done that, and I'm going to leave that link below, down in my information box below the video, where the title and everything of the video is. If you go down there, and it may be to the side, it depends on what device you're watching on, and you'll either see the word more or show more, and you click on that, and all my information, my recipe for that video will be there. So anyways, I'm going to be doing cooked chicken, and I found out several years ago that I like it better that way. That's just me. That's my preference. I think the texture and the overall product, to me, I like better. Plus the fact, I've heard some people said that they didn't like it because it was too dry. I have never canned cooked chicken or turkey in its broth or the stock that it was ever dry. In fact, it's right the opposite, because I have cooked the chicken or the turkey slowly all day long in my roaster pan. And I thought that I think somehow I deleted my clip where I was showing y'all putting my chickens. I had 4 hens, not chickens, but I had 4 hens, big hens. They were probably close to 4 pounds apiece. And I put 3 of them in my roaster pan, which is a 28 quart roaster pan, and I'll put a link to that below if you are interested in a big roaster pan. They're very handy to have. And then I had to put one of the hens in my slow cooker because there wasn't enough room. Plus I loaded it with water and vegetables out of my freezer that I had kept, like leftover onion skins, the ends of celery, the ends of carrots, everything that I had stocked up and put in a bag, a big bag, and kept in my freezer. I put that in the roaster pan in the slow cooker with my hen. So by 10 hours, when I come in, they had cooked about 10 hours. They were falling off the bone, the meat was, and the stock was beautiful. It smelled good, it tasted good. I put a little bit of poultry seasoning in there. I put a little bit of salt and pepper. Of course, all my onions and my vegetables that I said I put in there. And you can put a bay leaf, just anything that you like to put in your stock. But the stock turned out wonderful, and I ended up with about 8 quarts of stock that I'll be able to use canning my cooked chicken. So we're going to get started canning, and like I said, I'm sorry that I somehow deleted that, showing y'all, but it's pretty, explain it to you, it's pretty just plain and simple. You can even, if you just want to do a little bit of time, you can cook a big hen and just your slow cooker and just pressure cook a little bit at a time if you want to. But I done 4 big hens, so if they weighed, I probably had I'm going to say between 14 and 16 pounds of hen and cooked. Of course, once you debone it, you don't have that much. And I'll show you in a clip how much I had. So, but the meat I ended up with and my stock. But we're going to get going on this because I need to get some canned up. I'm probably going to do two pressure canner fulls, probably, not sure yet. And I'm going to be doing them in quart jars because that's what works here, because there's a lot of times that I use this canned chicken. Now this canned chicken is going to be for long-term storage for me. I'm not going to be canning it right now and going straight in there and using it. Right now I'm going through my freezers and I'm putting up as much as I can until I see how the world's going to be in several months and what's going on. I'm going to keep everything that I can back there, and I'll be eating out of my freezer before then. But I want stuff in my pantry and I want it there for long term. So, say we have to go off grid if things, go bad. You can't get to the grocery store. Our money changes to where you can't, I can name off 100 things. I know that I can go into my pantry and there's going to be food there. So I don't want to go in there right away and just start eating everything out of my pantry is what I'm saying. As long as I've got stuff in the freezer that I can work with right now, that's what I'm doing. But right now we need to get to canning our chicken, because I know that's why most of you are here. So let's can up some chicken and get it in our pantry. That's a big bowl of chicken that's fixing to have to be deboned. That's a bunch of vegetables that was I strained out of my broth. So I got my chicken to debone, and over here I've got 8 quarts of some really pretty chicken stock. Isn't that pretty? It's got a pretty color to it. So I'll be using this when I'm canning my chicken, and I'll probably end up using all of it. If I don't have enough left that I can maybe can a couple of jars of stock, I'll do that, because you'll pressure cook can it the same amount of time as you will your chicken. I don't think I'll have much left, but I could. We'll see. Kind of hoping I do. Okay, we're going to start out, and I'm going to do 3 jars and just show y'all how I'm going to be doing this. And then I'm just going to carry on with the rest of my jars and get them in the canner. Now what I'm going to do is I've got my deboned chicken right here, and it's a mixture of dark and it's a mixture of white. I've got hot jars. And I measured out 2 cups of chicken. And it's just kind of pulled off the bone. And I'm going to say, usually that's what I do in a quart jar, is I put about 2 cups in each one. Because I figure that's plenty for a recipe. And there's so many different things that you can do with this chicken. Anything that you have to cook chicken for to make, you can use this canned chicken for. And I make a lot of casseroles, chicken and dumplings, chicken and noodles, chicken and rice, Mexican chicken, soup. You can even drain the broth off this and make you some chicken salad with it and keep your broth for something else maybe. So our jars are hot. The chicken it's not cold. I did keep it in the refrigerator last night, but I brought it out of the refrigerator and it is at a safe temp, but it's not scalding hot, because our broth will be hot going into our jars. I think I'll put just a little bit more in that one. And you're going to have all this beautiful stock in with your meat. All you'd have to do is open you up a jar, pour it in a pot, put you a little bit of cooked rice in there, and you've got instant chicken and rice, noodles, you name it. Like I said, anything that you would be using shredded, this ain't really shredded, but it's pulled. We'll call it pulled chicken, pulled off the bone. Anything that you would use that for, that's what you'd use this for. Okay, so I've got my hot broth. don't think y'all can see this one very well, but I'll do the other ones too. Canning meat, I know, is very intimidating to a lot of people. And it was to me the first time I done it too. And I watched so many people, my family do it. But until you do it yourself for the first time, it's so intimidating. I love doing it this way because you get all this beautiful stock to can it in, and you're not having to use your other canned stock to can in. You can keep it for other uses. Now you can also use store-bought broth if you want to, or if you have the bouillon, make you up enough bouillon, chicken bouillon, to cover your meat. And I've also have seen people go to Walmart and buy rotisserie chicken and take it off the bone and do this same thing. They just had their own broth and they canned it up. So I'm going to wipe off the rim. First off, we're going to debubble. It's my debubbler. Just go down the sides like this. There we go. I've got some vinegar. And I'm going to wipe the rims off real good. Now anytime that you're wiping the top of your rim, make sure, once you do one jar, that you switch your paper towel or your rag around. Because if you just keep wiping like this and you go to this other jar, all you're doing is wiping the same stuff that you got off that jar, you're wiping it on the rim of this one. So always move it over just a little bit to get it off where you done wiped. Lord, there goes my weather radio. It's a test again. This is the second video, y'all, that y'all have been with me and my weather radio go off. You never know when it's going to do it. It just does it. But I'm so thankful that I've got one, I can tell you. Okay, my lids were in warm water. I'm going to do these finger tight. If you don't have a weather radio, they are such a good, especially when you live in Tornado Alley like we do. It's a necessity. It really is. Okay, I'm going to get these back here in my canner. I've got 3 quarts of water back here in my canner with a couple tablespoons of white vinegar in there. That vinegar is to keep all the mess. See, I have limey water and it wants to put a residue on your jars, so I apologize for that weather radio alert there, but it's so funny because that's happened before. Okay, I'm going to get the rest of my jars out. I'm going to get with it and get them in there. And I'll come back and I'll show you that I've got it all filled up. So I got my jars filled up. You can see there's 3, 6, 7 quarts in here. And I'll be doing a second pressure cook because I've got more chicken left. And then I've got more broth. So I'll probably end up with a canner full of broth and a few more quarts of chicken. So we got them in here. Got 3 quarts of water in the bottom with a couple tablespoons of vinegar. We're going to put the lid on. Now I'm using my Denali pressure canner, 23 quart. It vented for 10 minutes, and now I've got my 10-pound weight on. Like I've told y'all, here in my elevation, whether if it's 10-pound weight or not, it always stops at 11 pounds. So 11 pounds for quarts will be 90 minutes. I've still got my broth back here that I'm just keeping on low simmer because I will be canning that up, and I have just a little bit of meat left too. I found a little bit of peaches in the freezer. I'm fixing to cook them down. Not sure yet. I may make a cobbler for Mr. Brown today, or I may put them in, I might jar them up and make some peach preserves or something. Just a couple little jars. Not sure yet on that. But anyways, I'm timing right now, 90 minutes. Well, I feel like we've had a really busy 2 days. We've got 12 pints of baked beans canned up, about 6 pints of butter, and then I've got all this beautiful chicken and chicken stock that we done today. We got 9 quarts of chicken, which includes the white meat and the dark meat. You see some of them are still bubbling. And they've been canned in our beautiful broth. And then over here we've ended up with 5 quarts of chicken stock. So I think we've done pretty good. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed the last 2 videos of getting things canned up and getting ready to fill our pantries. It's getting that time of year for me. Fall is when I really start canning up meat and broths and getting things in my pantry. And I'm going to be putting a lot more up for long-term pantry. That way I know I've got enough food to feed me and Mr. Brown, my children if need be, and maybe a neighbor or two if they're in need. So I hope y'all enjoyed the last 2 videos of getting things canned up, and there will be more canning videos to come. I need to get some more pumpkin recipes out. I need, let's see, Friday is cooking with my cookbooks, so I've got that to do. So we're just having a really busy week. But we got a lot done last 2 days, plus everything else we done besides canning. Busy homestead. Y'all have a beautiful day, have a beautiful night, and we'll see y'all in a day or 2. And we'll be trying, hopefully, to cook from my cookbooks. We love y'all, and God bless everybody. Oh, and I want to tell y'all, because I don't know if I mentioned it or not, about canning up the cooked chicken. The quarts, of course, were pressured for 90 minutes. Plus, since I had 2 quarts of chicken left on my second canner, I put the 2 quarts of chicken in there, and then I put the 5 quarts of broth in there. So the broth and the 2 quarts of chicken, of course, pressure canned for the same amount of time and pressure, which was 11 pounds of pressure for 90 minutes. So we got a lot done. Always feels good when you're putting stuff in your pantry, especially when you're doing it yourself. Everything fresh, everything homemade. It just feels good. So we'll see y'all in a day or 2. Bye-bye, everybody.